New York guy here to help us out with some baseball. What's up, Johnny? How you been, buddy?
What's going on, guys?
No, it's
All
good.
good, man. Doing your? Are you wearing the hat too?
Yeah, I'm representing Nathan's. Nathan's the official hot dog of MLB. Finally, we got an official hot dog.
It's
Was
about
there
time.
not one before?
No.
Wait, it
Did you
wasn't
believe that?
Ballpark Franks? Not to
No.
start throwing the
Not the
competition
official
out there.
hot
Is
dog
that true?
of Major League Baseball. So
It's
Nathan's,
about time.
So
we
it makes-
finally
it-
got an official hot dog.
It makes sense
I was
because
with
it's
the
right around
commissioner
the corner,
this morning,
right?
and that question was brought up to him, and
Yeah.
this is the first hot dog.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
We have Manfred on Thursday. He seems like he's willing and ready and open-minded and like he's going to be here for a while. And I think be pretty good, too, John. You really read on Man.
I think
You got to like him.
I think he's done a tremendous
Yeah.
job. You know, Rob's been involved with the baseball for a number of years. He was a representative. He was the lawyer for the commissioner side, MLB side. So he's been involved. I know Rob a long time when we used to have the labor disputes. He was on one side of the table, the players on the other side of the table. And I think Rob understands on what's going on and what had happened and what needs to be done. And I think he's doing a tremendous job so far.
You know, when you look at this this Nathan's partnership, it's also a part of the Play Ball initiative.
Yes.
You know, I think about, like, my kids are playing little league, but also travel baseball. It's gotten a little bit different from when you grew up. Obviously,
Yeah.
when BT, who played in college, grew up. It's gotten intense.
Yeah, it's
Actually,
gotten intense,
is that good? You know what I mean? Because it's so
I
intense
think
at the
the
young
parents
ages.
make it more intense than the
No,
kids.
that's a good point.
That's what it
That's
is.
a great point.
It's not the kids, it's the parents.
Yeah.
But this initiative that MLB is partnering with Nathan's is not about 9-on-9, 18-8. It's about getting kids out there just to play ball, a wiffle ball game. You know, just get out there
in
and
the
start swinging the
streets
bat
all day.
and swinging the ball out there in the street or in the park or whatever it may be. But I think it's a great partnership. Two icons, iconic brands, baseball and Nathan's. And help to have the kids involved. Me, as a parent growing up, I always had my kids involved. I'm sure you have your kids involved in some type of sports, especially baseball.
Yep.
And the good thing about Nathan's is when they asked me to get involved with this, I grew up in not too far from Coley Island. So me and my buddies used to go to the beach on the way home from the beach. Stop at Nathan's, get
Natural
a dog,
fit, yeah.
get some fries, a Coke, and then go on the
How much did that
rides.
cost back then?
Huh?
How much did that cost back then?
Probably
Back
$2,
then,
probably $2 for everything.
Maybe $1.25. I think the
Ah,
hot dogs were
nice.
back then.
Oh,
so
my
it
God.
was
And now you-
$5 you could eat good.
Now you walk up there and like, I'm John Franco. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, no, now they're
they
paying
charge-
him.
Now they
That's
charge
what
me
I mean.
double.
Now they're paying him. John Franco. So, all right, so the baseball season obviously is creeping up, and there's so many great stories. And, John, I've said to Tiki a few times that it's really noticeable. You know, if you've been a baseball fan your whole life, and I mean, you played, so clearly that describes you. But I think if you've been watching the game for a long time, it is so obvious the increase in athleticism.
Yeah.
The heavy-footed first baseman, gone. The catcher who can't move, for the most part, gone. The corner outfielders who can't move at all, gone. It's become a faster game, and
Absolutely.
it's great. It really
Absolutely.
is good for the sport.
Years ago it was, from guys would go into spring training to get in shape.
Yeah.
Guys are coming into spring training in shape. And I think one of the things that me being an older player and retired and looking from the outside in now, that guys don't take time off. And I think that helps, that adds on to the injuries. They don't give their bodies a chance to rest.
Okay.
And I was talking to a couple of young pitchers with the Met organization about a year and a half ago, and I've asked them what do they do in the off season. They told me they take 2 weeks off, then they go back into throwing. And I said, why? And they said, well, I don't want to be behind when we get into spring training. I said, yeah, but it's November. I said, I didn't pick up a ball until the last week of January. So I had a week in January, a week in February, and then I go to spring training, and I still got time down there to get ready.
And
so,
you were durable, for those who might not
Yeah.
have it. Incredibly durable, no
and
doubt.
I think, with the weight training, a lot of weight training, everybody's coming up with new gimmicks on how to keep you healthy, and guys added muscle on. Syndergaard said he added 17 pounds of muscle. I don't know if
but
that's a good thing or a bad thing.
But he's a position player. I mean, he can use it.
No,
in
he's a
sense.
pitcher. Pitcher,
I don't think as long as it's
Pitcher,
from
you
the
wanna
waist down,
Yeah,
the legs,
pitcher,
that's
you want to
fine.
be loose,
Yeah,
you want to have loose
but
score.
you're talking about Cespedes, though. I mean, he
No,
can-
Syndergaard.
Oh,
is different.
Syndergaard, I got you.
Yeah, Syndergaard. Cespedes now, he's a
Yeah,
different story
he
now.
can be
but,
jacked up. It doesn't
but
matter.
also, you don't want to get too big and pull the muscles and stuff like that. He had that quad injury.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
Yeah,
Every year he's been a little nicked up, a
what's
little
the thing-
handy,
what's
even in
the-
Oakland.
It's a long season.
What's the thing that we kept hearing over the last couple of years? The lat or oblique.
Oh, that's the
strain?
worst.
I mean,
Well,
what is that?
Oblique. I said, these guys are just too skinny. I said, come live with me for a week. I'll fatten you up in a
pasta.
nice Italian household. And, their body fat might be, 6 or 7 or 8 or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Need a little body fat on you.
You do.
Years ago, I remember Eric Davis was with the Reds, and he's skinny as a rail, and he used to pull a hamstring muscle. How can you pull a muscle? You got no meat on you. Come and eat and go eat a hot dog. Go eat Nathan's hot dog.
Yeah, what was his retort? You don't even know what it feels like to be fast, so don't tell me about.
Hey, by the way,
muscles.
Johnny, you mentioned Eric Davis. You weren't on this Mets team, but when Ray Knight popped him at third base,
I was on the red team.
It's right. It was in Cincinnati.
Yeah, that was a good fight.
That was a real fight right there.
That was a real good one. I'll never forget they had 3 or 4 guys holding down Kevin Mitchell.
Oh.
And once he got up, all 4 guys ran away.
It's on YouTube. Young guys should check it out. John Franco, of course, 4-time All-Star. He's with Nathan's. He's with us here in studio. Tiki and Tierney.
Kevin Mitchell was mean.
He was scary. But although he projected mean, but I actually heard he was a pretty nice guy.
He's a really great guy.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
Great guy. But you don't want to get on his bad side.
No.
Strong guy.
From a Mets perspective, obviously they're overflowing with their staff, the pitching staff. What are they going to do with some of these kids? Steven Matz is one in particular. I know he's had a little discomfort in his elbow, but nothing serious. How is this rotation going to line up from the starting five?
Well, obviously, you got the big guys starting, Syndergaard and DeGrom and Harvey and the Mats and whoever the 5th starter is going to be. Well, I think it might be Gazelman now.
Probably. Maybe Wheeler in a month.
Wheeler might hold Wheeler back.
But what do you do with all those other guys?
But I was just talking to a couple of guys before. It was they're going to miss Bartolo Colon. He's won 15 games the last 2 years, as a starter. So,
innings eater too. Yeah.
And you have to. Those are some big shoes to fill. Who's going to step into that role to win that 15 games? I particularly think I worked with Matt Harvey a little bit. I played catch with him in the offseason.
Mm-hmm.
I think Matt Harvey's going to have a great year.
You really believe? You
absolutely.
really mean that?
Spring training means nothing.
No, I know
Spring
that.
training
I
means
know.
nothing to me. You could throw all those numbers out the window starting Monday.
You could be Butch Husky. Remember
absolutely.
Butch
Husky?
How's that for
Kevin
you?
Robertson had 7, 8 home runs in spring training. Made the team. Unfortunately, he didn't do nothing. He was here for a month, and they sent him back down. There's a lot of guys who have great springs.
Yeah.
But once that bell rings for the season, nothing. I think Matt Harvey. These injuries humbled him a little bit.
Mm-hmm. And he needed to be humbled
and
a bit.
it also is teaching him how to be a pitcher now. A lot of these guys come up here throwing 97, 98, and they're throwers because they know they can rear back and throw. Matt is, you got to hit your spots now. He might not have that 97, 98, but he's going to have that 94, 95.
Mm-hmm.
And I wish I had 94, 95. They're making a big thing out of velocity. You could throw that out the window. As long as you hit your spots, change your speeds, hit location, you'll be fine. And I think he's gonna be under the radar because all eyes are on Syndergaard and DeGrom.
Well, also, one of the things about Matt, and this is just rumors that floated around, that he loved New York. Loved being
out. 46 years old and single.
Being out in New York. But it's
he's
okay.
out all the time.
It's okay when you're the
kid never got into trouble. Never got into trouble.
Got a little heavy though.
But you
got a little chubby.
He's in great shape right now. I can tell you right now. I saw him work his tail off this year. Never got into trouble. If I was 26 and single and want to date some models, more power to him.
I'd be right there with you, John.
As long as he shows up every 5 days.
He wasn't, though.
Every 5 days he shows up on the mound and does his job.
Yeah, like back in the day.
Absolutely.
Who do you think has? Well, let me preface it with this. I had my fantasy baseball. By the way, I love what you're saying about Harvey because I actually took him in like the 9th round, and I got all sticks because everybody was scared. A lot of Met fans they're kind of down on him. I'm like, I think he's going to regenerate.
Well, I think they're down on him because what they're reading into spring training.
Exactly.
Hey, listen, this guy's coming off of two major injuries in
the
last 2.5 years.
Almost 6. His ERA is almost 6 right now.
Yeah, but don't read that. His last outing was good. He's mid-90s. And John said it's hitting spots.
Just looking at stats, man.
Stats mean nothing at this point. You know that, T.
Lies, damn lies.
Here's my question, though, about the Mets. Because most of the guys that I drafted with are big Met fans, right? We're sitting around having a few beers drafting, and all these guys, yapping, the Mets are going to do this. By the way, I think the Nationals win the division by at least 5 games. I think the Nats run away. The Nats are going to destroy the National League this year, in my opinion. But when they preface their Mets support with, if Duda stays healthy and if Neil Walker's back is right.
There's a lot of ifs.
Did you just realize that the right side of your infield, the first 2 spots you identified as huge problems?
Right.
I know the Mets will be good, but I think that the national media is kind of overstating what they could be this year. I'm not buying them as much, John.
Well, the big if factor, health. And that's with any club. You could say the same thing about the Nationals. Strasburg going to pitch all year.
Yeah, but they got Scherzer. They got other
Zimmerman going to be good. Yeah, or you could say the same about Mets. If the DeGrom gets hurt, they got Syndergaard.
Yeah.
Last year Zimmerman was hurt for them. I think they're going to. The catcher that they lost, Ramos, he killed the Mets last year.
He had a great season.
He's no longer with the Mets. He's with the Rays, I believe.
Tampa.
Yeah. Now they got Winters from
Wieners from Baltimore.
Wieners from Baltimore.
On a pretty good contract too.
Yeah. So. health is a big thing. There's a lot of ifs. Duda could come out and hit 30 home runs this year.
Duda.
Walker was on his way to hit 30 home runs last year. He had 20-something.
Neil's a pro. I like Neil. I like Neil better than Duda.
He's a good player. He's a blue-collar worker.
Yeah, I agree.
He shows up every day. Cabrera at shortstop did a tremendous job. We're hoping David Wright comes back. We're hoping. But you have Reyes.
Do you think?
If I know David the way I know David, he's going to do everything in his power to try to come back.
It feels like every year, though, John.
It's a shame.
I know, it's unfortunately, and sooner or later, either David or the organization is going to have to make a decision on which way to go, whether you could try to continue to keep playing or retire.
We're getting close to that point, with all due
I'm
respect
rooting for
to
David.
So am I. I
love David. I think he's great for the team. I think he's great for the city, and we're hoping that he does come back.
Which team, John Franco with us in studio here, which team do you think, John, has the most pressure entering the season in all of baseball right now?
Obviously, the Cubs. They won last year.
Yeah, so I would say that the pressure's off.
Yeah, I mean,
no, I think it's on because now they want to repeat again. They're talking about repeating.
See, I think there's a
lot of pressure on the Dodgers too. The Dodgers always get there. It's always a bridesmaid, never a bride.
Yeah, and they spent a lot of money too.
The Nationals, there's a lot of pressure on.
Yeah,
the pressure for the Nats is to win. While Bryce Harper's still under contract.
There's pressure on the Mets too.
Yeah,
pressure on the Mets.
Pressure's everywhere, right, John?
The Mets are
except
Mets
at
are
Nathan's, where the
Mets
hot
are on
dogs
a
are good.
3-4 year period right now where they have these young pitchers on the contract, and they control them.
Yep.
So now's the time they got to win. They got Cespedes, they got guys locked up, a couple guys, and it's a lot of pressure, especially playing here in New York. Tiki playing here in New York, how much pressure is put on you.
You got to win. Do you buy into Cespedes' comments about the way Latin American players play and the need for more fun, energy, noise at baseball games, or are you a traditionalist?
No, I'm not. I'm not too much for that noise stuff and the flamboyant stuff that they do. But whatever gets them through the day. I mean, if he wants to do that and hit 35 home runs and knock in 135 runs, so be it. I'm not like that. I think you saw a little bit of that in the World Classic, how the Latin American countries act. Venezuela, Puerto Rico, and Dominican Republic, how much fun they had doing it, representing their countries. And then on the flip side, the American team wasn't like that. They just showed up and played and won.
And they won. At the end of the day, they won. Now, the question I have to ask you in your expert opinion, and this is your expert opinion, is Tim Tebow ever going to make it out of low A?
He's going to hit 110 in A-ball this year. He's got no chance.
He got blown away yesterday.
Be honest. No chance.
I
chance.
haven't seen him play.
You don't have to. He's got no chance.
From what I hear, he's a great guy.
Which means he's got no chance.
He's a great guy. But I think the one thing that the Met organization did do is when they did get Tim Tebow here in the organization, his work ethic is unbelievable. And I think what they did was they wanted the young players to see a guy who has done the top level in football, Heisman Trophy winner, played NFL, see his work ethic at 29 years old, still trying to do what he wants to do. And for these kids who are 18, 19, 20 years old to see this guy who doesn't need to be there but wants to be there, and his work, how much work he's put in.
Do they ever have him address the team? Because it reminds me of the Rangers with Russell Westbrook. Russell Wilson. Remember they had Russell Wilson
playing second base.
Sure.
I'm not sure if he addressed the team.
We had him at the Super Bowl. He's an unbelievable.
He might have addressed the team.
Like a mind.
I think he's just good for the core of the kids, young players, to see that.
Well, I agree.
No chance to make it.
But if he's going to address the team, he better address them soon because he ain't going to be around long.
Well,
listen. With all due respect,
I don't think they intended when they signed him. He hasn't played since his junior year in high school to make it to the big leagues. But
he was
he's
good in high
giving it a
school.
good old try, that's for sure.
Hey, listen, if you're Tim Tebow, you try whatever you want.
Yeah.
And most people will give you a chance because he's just a special dude. So,
Absolutely.
John, great relationship with Nathan's. Are you picking the Mets to get to the World Series before you bounce? Are you going to actually pick them right now to get to the World Series?
I always pick the Mets to win. I mean, I'm true blue, Hall of Famer, team captain. I'm picking the Mets.
You don't have a choice.
If the Mets win, there's more hot dogs for Nathan's to sell at Citi Field.
Yep.
And the baseball initiative that we're trying to do, get the kids involved, and it's a great program that they got involved in, and it's two great. MLB and
two great entities. I've always loved Nathan's. Now, Kings Plaza on Flatbush Avenue. I used to go there all the time. And the cool, like my mom and sister would go shopping, and my dad and I would, lay back and play wiffle ball, watch the games, and then drive and pick them up. So they didn't have to take the bus home. And we'd always park And when you come up by the old ASPCA, there was Nathan's.
The Nathan's right there.
And
Yeah.
it was, I mean, Nathan's.
My wife used to work in Kings Plaza, Alexander's.
Get out of here!
Yeah,
Not when
yeah.
you were making big time money.
No,
I'm
we
gonna
were
say
dating.
it,
She was
John.
in high school.
I was gonna
man.
say, hey, I'm making $4 million a year. Go work at Alexander's, honey.
Now I'm retired and she's working.
All right, there we go. John, good seeing
Well,
you.
thanks for having me, and thanks for representing and letting us get a little time out and
Always
speaking
a
about
pleasure.
Nathan's and
No doubt.
MLB as partnership.
Always
Love
a pleasure.
Nathan's, and it's a great partnership. Good stuff, John.
Thanks,
Good seeing
guys. I appreciate it.
You got it, buddy.